In the 12 years since Guardiola, there have been 7 managers at FC Barcelona. And despite the club's respectable trophy haul during that time, which includes 5 La Liga titles and an incredible treble season, most of these coaches fell short of the club's illustrious legacy. Xavi hit the nail on the head when he called managing Barcelona an impossible job. The stress and fatigue had pushed him to express his desire to leave the club in the summer of 2024, echoing the sentiments of nearly every manager who has been in his shoes. So Barca will undergo a reset this summer, bringing in the successor to Xavi who will bring fresh ideas and ideally start with a clean slate. But it's highly improbable that he will be immune to the same challenges that have plagued previous managers. Why is this the case? This is the impossible job of managing Barcelona. Managers at the highest level always face scrutiny and pressure, but those who have graced the hot seats at the Catalan club have described it as a burden unlike any other. Just ask Pep, who achieved remarkable success but still felt compelled to leave because of the pressures he faced. By the end of his tenure, he had even developed a twitch in his eye, needing a full year to recover before returning to club management. Guardiola was quick to offer his condolences to Xavi after the latter decided to step down, adding that managing Barca is 1,000 times tougher than in England. Former manager Luis Enrique echoed that sentiment upon his departure, saying that he got very few hours to rest and disconnect. So what makes managing Barcelona more challenging compared to managing other clubs? Well, this is a club that has won 77 trophies in its 124 years of existence and is backed by a fan base that has been spoiled by decades of dominant displays. Anything less than a top spot in La Liga and Champions League contention is widely considered a failure, so high expectations are normal considering the club's history. Beyond winning, fans expect the team to play attractive possession-based football, adhering to the Barca DNA established by club legend Johan Cruyff. Fans also want youth players integrated, but to have the team firing in all competitions, it can be risky to depend on unproven youngsters. This hefty demand adds another layer of complexity to tactical decisions on the pitch. Unique to Barca is also the fact that its managers are seen as custodians of a cultural symbol, which adds immense emotional pressure to their role. Football Club Barcelona has deep ties to the community it represents, proudly displaying the colors of the Catalan flag on its badge. Unlike other clubs that carry the weight of a city, Barcelona represents a national identity, as many of its local supporters are Catalan and consider themselves citizens of their own independent nation. And finally, there's the ever-present issue of Real Madrid. The animosity between the cities of Barcelona and Madrid runs deep, stemming from a political rivalry that has extended into the realm of sports. How can a manager survive in a job when they're not only held to their own standards, but also compared to the success of their biggest rivals, who happen to be the most successful club in the world? This unyielding pressure to win trophies and play the Barca way can be traced back to Guardiola and the high standards he had inadvertently set for his successors. The circumstances in which he took the job were far from perfect. Yes, he had an immense amount of talent at his disposal, highlighted by a certain player by the name of Leo Messi, but the team had been struggling for some time. Key players Ronaldinho, Deco, and Samuel Eto'o all commanded significant salaries and blocked some of Barca's most promising prospects from breaking through. So Guardiola's first move was to let the former two go, while Eto'o watched most of the 2008-9 season from the bench. At the time, it was a puzzling decision. Ronaldinho wasn't far from winning another Ballon d'Or, while Deco was well on his way to becoming a club legend. In their place, Guardiola called up two largely unproven La Masia youths, Pedro and Sergio Busquets, and brought in Gerard Piqué, a centre-back who couldn't crack the first team at United. That shake-up proved to be a masterstroke, of course, as Guardiola won the treble in his first season, becoming the youngest Champions League winning manager. His next 3 seasons were equally remarkable, and by the time he ended his reign in 2012, the boyhood Barca fan had won 7 major trophies, including 3 league titles and 2 Champions Leagues. And then there was the football, tiki-taka, playing out from the back, Messi as a false 9, and the Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets midfield trio that nobody could touch. It's an impossible legacy to live up to, though many managers have since tried. Guardiola's assistant, Tito Villanova, was figured to be Pep's natural successor, being the person most familiar with the former boss's methods. Barca wasted no time in announcing him as Guardiola's successor, revealing the news at the same press conference that confirmed the latter's departure. His first season in charge went smoothly, with Barca amassing 100 points and securing the league title with a 15-point lead over Real Madrid. Unfortunately, that's all we got to see of his managerial prowess. His story took a devastating turn as he battled serious health problems throughout his tenure, forcing him to leave the club in 2013 before sadly passing away in April 2014. It was at this point where Barca's problems began. With no Guardiola disciples to turn to, they had to look elsewhere. Tata Martino replaced Villanova, but resigned after less than a year after finishing second in La Liga and failing to win any silverware. Luis Enrique was next and enjoyed immense success in his first 2 seasons on the back of the MSN trio. But by his 3rd season, Barca began choking against stubborn opposition more frequently and simply didn't look as unshakable as they used to be during the time of Guardiola. Some attributed this to Enrique's perceived tactical short-sightedness and failure to adapt the team to meet the evolving demands of the game. Then, as Barca began to lose more games, there were some who believed that the club had lost its identity and began playing like other clubs. Messi, who had been previously at odds with Enrique, was rumored to have also put a condition in his contract extension to sack the manager. Considering all this, Enrique decided for himself and stepped down. Ernesto Valverde was pinched from Athletic Bilbao to step in next and bagged 2 La Liga trophies in 3 years. But his reign will always be remembered for that 4-0 choking to Liverpool in the 2019 Champions League. And when things went awry in January 2020, Barca showed little hesitation in sacking him. Barca have employed 3 managers since: Keke Setien, Ronald Koeman, and Xavi, but have only won 3 trophies in 4 years, in what has been their most sparse trophy haul in recent memory. Barca's current situation is further complicated by recent financial constraints resulting from years of overspending, which left them on the brink of bankruptcy just 2 years ago. This has made squad building a delicate balancing act with limited transfer funds. Moreover, the club has had to rebuild following the departure of several legends, leaving a void that has yet to be filled. However, the transfer market's increasing competitiveness and inflated prices have made it even more challenging to acquire top talent. Externally, the pressure on the club is heightened by its passionate fan base and vibrant social media presence that have the potential to amplify criticism and magnify poor results. On top of that, the Catalan media is renowned for its critical nature, and Barcelona does not receive favorable coverage from the majority of the Spanish and international press. These factors combine to create a pressure cooker of high expectations, financial limitations, and intense scrutiny. Barcelona's unique status as a member-owned club brings its own set of challenges. With fans electing their presidents, the position becomes inherently unstable, as presidents can face no confidence votes at any time. This instability often leads to hasty decisions aimed at appeasing the electing fans. Joan Laporta, currently in his 2nd spell as president, exemplifies this attitude. He has shown little hesitation in exerting his power at Camp Nou. In the past, he made ruthless and perhaps thoughtless decisions, such as signing Ronaldinho in 2003 and denying former manager Ronald Koeman a transfer budget in 2021. Laporta has also engaged in open conflict with La Liga president Javier Tebas and staunchly defended Barca in a refereeing payment scandal in which he is involved. Now, Laporta holds the reins in the search for Xavi's successor. While he has the qualifications for the job, having entrusted Guardiola and overseen a period of immense success, his tendency to act rashly and his focus on the Barca brand raises concerns about his ability to make level-headed decisions. The problem lies in Laporta representing the old-fashioned mindset that Barca would benefit from shedding. The club's obsession with legacy and reliance on past successes make it inherently difficult to manage. Xavi's appointment was yet another example of the club that looked into its past to find solutions for its future. Finding a successor to Xavi who can navigate the club's challenges becomes increasingly difficult. While Barca made notable financial moves to revive the squad in 2022 and secured La Liga in doing so, their long-term prospects remain troubling. Aging players, such as Lewandowski, are still on heavy contracts, while some youngsters are yet to be registered for first-team deals. Moreover, opportunities for financial moves are shrinking due to tightened rules implemented by Tebas, leaving the club with little choice but to sell valuable assets. As a result, there's a chance that key players like Ronald Araujo could be sold this summer to raise funds. If one or more of their star players were to depart, Barca's squad would suddenly appear very thin, as they lack players in their prime years. Given the multitude of challenges and the emphasis on trophies as the benchmark for success at the club, which manager would be bold enough to take on this challenge? If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more football news, stories, and insights. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.